Now guys, welcome back to another session. In this tutorial class today, I'm going to be teaching you another aspect of compound fraction. Now on the board, we are asked to simplify 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3 plus 3 over 4. You see now, guys, this is also an example of a compound fraction. Ask me why. Why? This is because this aspect does not require the law of BODMAS. Like I said earlier, it is in compound fraction that you put the BODMAS law into consideration. So here, solving this problem does not require the rule of BODMAS. So even though I have this as a chain, in as much as I begin to have plus minus plus minus plus minus across the whole fraction, it can also be treated as a compound fraction because it does not require the law of BODMAS for it to be solved effectively. Now guys, so what do we do here? This is solution. We are still going to be solving this problem 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3 plus 3 over 4. Now, like I explained in previous class, I explained that you find L.C.M of the denominators only when you have plus or minus in between fractions. An example of such scenario is what we have on the board now. So these fractions are connected with plus and minus. Hence, we are going to be finding the L.C.M of the denominators. But this is not so with multiplication and division. For multiplication and division, you do not find L.C.M. But understand that anytime you are dealing with addition and subtraction, you must find the L.C.M to reduce the compound fraction to a simple fraction. Now guys, let's get started. So here, what do? We need to find one denominator. Now, we already have the understanding that we want to reduce these three fractions to become one single fraction. And to do that, we need to have one denominator and one numerator. And I said the first thing you do is to get one denominator. How do you get this one denominator? You get it by finding the L.C.M of the denominator. This is what will give you the new denominator. And the L.C.M of 2, 3, and 4, guys, is 12. You can check that out in your L.C.M table. Alright? So we have 12, guys. This is now our new denominator. Now, of course, now that we have a new denominator, understand that we are likely going to have new numerator. Yes. Now, how do we get the new numerators, guys? It's as simple as ABC. What you do is to put down the new denominator, divide by what? The first denominator. And the first denominator here happens to be 2. So 12 divided by 2 would have given us 6. So put down this 6 to multiply the numerator of that denominator 2. So we are going to have 6 times the numerator. Are you there? Then the sign next is what? Minus. What we do next is to get the numerator here. We are still going to have the new denominator divided by what? The middle denominator there, which is the second denominator that happens to be 3. So when we divide 12 by 3, guys, we are going to have 4. And now we are going to multiply this 4 by the existing numerator of this 3 as the denominator. So we are going to have 4 times the existing numerator here is 2. Then plus this sign. Then the next thing we do is to also get the new denominator here. The new numerator here. How do we get the new numerator here? All we simply do is to also have 12 divided by 3. Sorry, now what's the denominator here is 4. So we're going to have 12 divided by 4, and this will give us 3. So we are going to multiply this 3 by the existing numerator there. Then we have 3 times 3. Guys, this is as simple as this. Now what next do? We will simply multiply out this expression by having 6 times 1, we are going to have 6, minus 4 times 2, we are going to have 8, plus 3 times 3, we are going to have 9, all over 2. Like I said, this does not really require the law of BODMAS. So you can say 6 minus 8, which will give us minus 2, and minus 2 plus 9, which would have given us what? 7. Or you can say, okay, 6 plus 9, which will give us 15, then 15 minus 8, which would have given us 7. Guys, we are going to have 6 minus 7, 6 minus 8 plus 9, guys, is 7. All over 12. The next thing you check out for is if there is a common factor between 7 and 12. Guys, there is no common factor. So hence, the next thing you also check out for is to see whether the denominator is greater than the numerator. If it is, then you are good to go. That becomes your last step and the final answer. Now, with this, we know that the numerator or the denominator is greater than the numerator. Hence, this becomes our answer. Guys, let's head on to looking at question number 10 at the other part of our board. Now, we are asked to simplify 9 whole number 1/3 plus 5 whole number 3/4, then minus 6 whole number 1/2. Now understand that this aspect is the tail part of it, where we need to convert the mixed fraction to an improper fraction before we can adopt any other further step. Right now, what do? We will state that this is our solution as usual. Then we have 9 whole number 1/3 plus 5 whole number 3/4 minus 6 whole number 1/2. So guys, how do you convert a mixed fraction to what? An improper fraction. Guys, first is to multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the numerator. Alright, so 3 times 9 would have given us what? 27. And 27 plus 1, guys, we are going to have 28 all over 3. Plus, how do we now convert this mixed fraction to a proper fraction? We are going to have the whole number, which is 5, times the denominator, which is 4, then plus 3, which happens to be the numerator. Guys, hope you follow. Yes. Now, 4 times 5 is 20, and 20 plus 3 is 23. Then we have this as 23 all over 4. Then lastly, we are going to convert this also to an improper fraction by having the whole number multiplied by the denominator, 6 times 2, then plus the numerator. So 6 times 2, guys, is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13. Now, we are going to have this as 13 all over 2. Now, the next thing we are going to quickly do, guys, is to find the L.C.M of 3, 4, and 2. Because the sign that connects this fraction is plus or minus. And anytime you have plus or minus between two fractions or more fractions, you must find their L.C.M. It's a must. Yes, it's a must that you find the L.C.M of fractions anytime they are connected either with plus, minus, or minus, both. Now, the L.C.M of 3, 4, and 2 is the same thing as we have here, and that would have given us 12. And that would have become our new denominator. Now, how do we get our new numerator? We are going to put down this 12 and have this 12 divided by the first denominator by 3. This will give us 4. Then we are going to have 4 times 28 plus. Then the next thing we are quickly going to do is also to get the new numerator here, which will have also given us the new denominator divided by the middle denominator, which is 4. And 12 divided by 4 would have given us 3. Guys, 3 times. So we're going to have 3 times the numerator there. Then minus. How do we now get the last numerator? We're going to also have 12 divided by what? The last denominator there happens to be 2. And 12 divided by 2, guys, we have 6. And now we're going to have 6 times the existing numerator there. Then we have 6 times 13. Guys, this is as simple as this. So what do we do? Like I said, you can always use your calculator, but let's see if we can use our brain here. Alright, now, what do we do? 4 times 8 is 32. So you're going to put down 2, carry 3. And what do you do next? When you multiply 4 by 2, you are going to have 8. 8 plus 3, that you're going to have 11. This is how it is. Alright? Yes. 8 plus 3 is 11. So it shows that 4 times 28 is 112. Then plus 3 times 23, 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply the last one first, then 3 times this would have given us 6. We have 69. Then plus 6 times 3. You start this number multiplied by the last first. So 6 times 3 would have given us 18. Put down 8, carry 1. Then 6 times 1 is 6 plus the 1 you carry, you have 78 all over. Sorry, minus 78 all over 2. Guys, the next thing you do is to what? Add 69 to 112 and remove 78. So when I add 69 to this, we are going to have 112 plus 69, guys. We are going to have 181. Now, when we remove 78 from 181, this will have given us, carry 1 from here, put it here, becomes 11. That's 3. This is 0, and this is 1. Then we are going to have 103 over 12. Guys, this is as simple as this. So when you add this to this, guys, you are going to have 181. When you remove 78 from 181, you're going to have 103. Now, check if there is a common factor between 12 and 3. Of course, there is none. Sorry, 103 and 12. Of course, there is none. So what do you do? That 12 will go into 103 8 times. So we are going to put down 8. Then multiply 12 by 8. That will give us 96. Now remove 96 from 103. You are going to have 72. over 12. Hope this is taken. All right. So guys, ensure you follow this step by step and you can find it easy for yourself. See you guys in the very next video. We are asked to simplify 27 over 20 times 8 over 9 times 1 over 2. All right, guys, and at this point, we know that we have three fractions here and everything is connected. All the fractions here are connected with what? Only multiplication sign. Then this is also what? A class of what? Compound fraction, because it does not require the law of BODMAS. All right, yes, doesn't require the law of BODMAS. Similarly, so we are going to have, the first thing we do is to put down our solution. Then we have 27 over 20 times 8 over 9 times 1 over 2. Like I said, there are multiple ways of solving multiplication, fraction involving multiplication. Right? Correct? Yes. There are multiple ways to have that done. But in this class now, we're going to be focusing on one. Of course, in the previous tutorial class, I taught us how to use, I taught us about two methods of analyzing or simplifying a compound fraction involving multiplication. So in this case now we are going to be using one method or one aspect of that class. All right, now of the theories that we use, we are going to be using one of the methods. So now what method are we going to use? We are going to be using the diagonal cross multiplication, right? Yes, diagonal division. That's what we are going to be using now. We are going to be using diagonal multiplication. Now how do that happen? This is diagonal, this to this. We look at what is common, this to this. We look at what is common. Of course, we have three multiple fractions here, so we can extend it further. So here now, 8. You can start from behind. You can start from the first two or the last two. So 8, what can divide 8 and as well divide 20 is 4. So 4 into 8 is 2, and 4 into 20 is 5. So we look out for a common factor that can divide 8 and 20, and that is 4. So 8 divided by 4, 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. We are done with that. Then we look at this other side. 9 is a factor of 27. So what do we do here? 9 divided itself is 1. 9 into this guy is 3. Guys, what do we do? We can simply still reduce this fraction as the remainder here is 5. 3 over 5 times 2 over 1 times 1 over 2. Alright, so we reduce the fraction. This is 3 over 5, 2 over 1, and 1 over 2. Then the next thing we do is that since this cannot, now we know that this can take care of this. So 2 into 2 is 1. Then we are going to have 3 times 1 times 1, using one division all over. 5 times 1 times 1. It's as simple as this. So what do we do? 3 times 1 is 3 times 1 is 3. And 5 times 1 times 1 is 5. Now this is our answer because 5 and 3 are both least factors, so they do not have common factors as well. We are leaving our answer here because the answer is a proper fraction where we have the denominator greater than the numerator. Guys, this is all about it. So this is also a case study or an example of what a compound fraction, where you have 3 or 4 fractions all connected with multiplication sign. Now we head on to the next page of our marker board, and now we are asked to simplify 45 over 49 divided by 15 over 7 divided by what? 9 over 14. Guys, what do we also do here? We say that we have 3 fractions and all are connected with a division sign. And now you understand that anytime we have division sign in between fraction, you know we use the law. What we use is what? The law of inversion. Of course, we are going to quickly use the law of inversion, as hence there is no need for BODMAS, application of what? The rule of BODMAS, right? So that makes this question also to fall under the class of compound fraction because it does not require the use of BODMAS to be able to provide the necessary solution to this question. Now, let's go. We have this as our solution and we repeat the question, which is 45 over 49 divided by 15 over 7 divided by 9 over 14. It's as simple as this. So guys, what do? We will change the division sign to multiplication using the law of inversion. And hence, we are going to have 45 over 49 times. Now that you change this one to multiplication, put down your division, then the denominator will now become your numerator, and numerator becomes denominator. This is all about it. Once you change your division sign to multiplication sign, you must ensure that you swap the fractions. Are you there? Denominator becomes numerator and numerator becomes denominator. That's it. Then also, this is a division sign that we are also going to change. Now that we are going to change this also towards a multiplication sign, we put down our multiplication sign, put that division. We are still going towards invert this fraction. And when we have that done, we are going to have 14 over 9. It's as simple as this, guys. So what do? We are still going to be using the law of diagonal division. Are you there? So the law of diagonal division, this and this, they are diagonally arranged. So what is common between this and this? Understand that 15 is a factor of what? 45. Therefore, 15 divided itself is 1. 15 into 45 is 3. 3 times 15 is 45, right? Yes. Now, we also check this diagonally. This can go into this to give us 7, because 7 times 7 is 49, right? So 7, the factor of 7, 7 is a factor of 49. Therefore, 7 into itself is 1. 7 into 49 is what? 7. Now, let's rearrange the fraction. Now, we are going to have the numerator here is 3 over 7, which is this remainder here, over the remainder here. Then times 1 here over 1. Then times 14 over what? 9. Now, guys, at this point also, don't forget that this can come and divide this. Of course, 3 is a factor of 9. So this is 1, and this will give us 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then 7 divided by itself is 1. This would have given us 2. All we need to do is to collect all the numerators and also collect all the denominators. So the first numerator we have here now is 1 times 2. All over. At the denominator we have 1 times 3. Guys, 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2. Then 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Then we will stop here because our answer is a proper fraction, and 2 you have as an individual. So God bless you. Ensure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if this YouTube channel is actually giving you a light as far as academics is concerned, and as far as mathematics is concerned, and as far as calculation is concerned. Understand that what we are teaching you here is not only for you to be grounded in mathematics, it will also help you to gain mastery over other subjects that involve calculation. That is how it is. People are having issues with chemistry, physics, economics, and other calculation courses today because their mathematical foundation is very poor, and that's the reason why we are out to see how we can strengthen your mathematical base, how we can strengthen your mathematical IQ, how we can strengthen you mathematically, so that you will not be scared of any other calculation course. So please ensure that you follow us. Understand that